Well, thank goodness whoever runs it has given me an opportunity to be cooperative and helpful, so we can not just talk about your friend here. Um, this is what I took from what they directed me to. A couple things. First was I was thinking, look, what's a good role model for who should I think of when I don't know how to handle this? Totally out of control of the situation, very frightened, but also don't frightened. I don't want to. Who would be a good think of how someone would handle it? Who? Who? And then I thought, oh, I know, but not a. But it seems like then all of a sudden they slam the door, and there was a clip of the show Family Guy, which is the incredibly the opposite of what I was thinking. So that's the first step because it has a lot to do probably with the youth. I think. You see, there's a wonderful series of books called the Parables of Peanuts and the Gospels according to Peanuts, and the real best apparent the one of the I didn't know that it was a Protestant cartoon. Apparently, that's how it was written, and that Charles Schultz believed that there would be no other point in writing a cartoon unless it had a serious message. I didn't know that. Um, and that the model of how you want to be, the ideal is Snoopy. Um, there's a chapter in the Parables of Peanuts called the God Dog that showed. It turns out that when Snoopy lies on top of his house with his big nose in the air, it looks like the church. That there's this whole thing going on where the way Snoopy is ideal. This is the idea. Charlie Brown is like your friend here, like trying to do his best, but it's kind of not working out and needs people like your good man Charlie Brown. Like you do, he's sort of like doing, he's sort of like us. He's like doing his best. It doesn't work out, but he tries. But then that's us. But then there's Snoopy, and Snoopy's like perfect. That's the way to be. And that's what I was thinking of Snoopy. I should handle this like Snoopy would. But I was trying to remember the cartoons, and all of a sudden they slammed the door, and there was Family Guy. Interesting, right? I mean, that is an incredibly. It's the opposite of Peanuts and the Great Pumpkin. Though I love the Great Pumpkin, by the way. That's also about faith. Charlie Brown stays up with his friend who's waiting for the Great Pumpkin, and it doesn't come, and he sort of has to deal with his friend the Great Pumpkin never came. I mean, it's all about faith and stuff like that, and I didn't know that, and I got really into it. That Peanuts is Peanuts is not on TV anymore, and neither is Fat Albert or anything. What's on TV is Family Guy, and the thing is yeah. It's funny, but the thing is that's I don't. It's the opposite. It has no message except the message would be nothing's holy. It's just a very vulgar show that makes fun of all kinds of things that aren't really funny. That is the opposite of Peanuts. Then they slammed the door on this thing with the show with Morgan Spurlock, and where he takes different jobs, to see what it's like to have different jobs. And it reminded me, number one, that I have a job. I work for these people. I mean, I do have a job. I mean, I'm not doing it when I'm complaining. Keep that to myself. That's number one. But number two, the first thing that came out of my mouth, but it's relevant to what people are going through in a country that I'm not going through. You see, I applied for disability. I want to say something about government disability, and then why? Because I said, well, to them, I said, well, I guess this is my job, I'm not working. What I'm reminded of, we don't treat this whole society and our government and everything while they're claiming that everyone feels entitled who's on government assistance. When I got the forms filled out and I saw what disability I'd be living on, I have another option. But I remember, thought about it all the time. Like other people don't. I said that's so for a disabled person who's maybe a hard worker, a smart person, not unemployed for any other reason than they're disabled. The fact that what's available to such a person, including our troops who have PTSD. How could you think that someone That's not. There's no reason for it to be so little. There isn't, especially for the soldiers. I mean, especially for the soldiers. But it was an amount of money that I said at first. Well, look, I can't live on this, but maybe partly because like I have another option. I guess I could deal with it, you know. But you know what? People can't because when I saw the guys I was living with at the guest house who were living on it, when I was trying to do it, I mean, they were eating at soup kitchens. I mean, they still it's too little. Like you still have to eat at soup kitchens, but you can like sort of pay for a really really messed up place to live. There was like an apartment building used to be an orphanage. What a creepy place, but you could get it real cheap, and then they'd eat at the soup kitchen. That's no way to live, particularly if you're getting disability because you were in the war. But meanwhile, there's a political party that wants to take all that away. There is. They think that's entitlement. That's not entitlement. It's too little. There's no reason why we need to have this attitude of that we don't take care. If a kind society takes care of people who they empathize with, because you could be in that same situation. And then I was gonna say something about Morgan Spurlock, but you know what? God bless him. I mean, everyone's trying their best to do their activity to bring people information, and this is how he's doing it in different ways. He made that movie. He does this. Who am I to judge? The way I mean, everyone's trying to do their best to get people awake about things, and we all do it in our own way. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So I'm not gonna say that part. Peace.